Hey, chiropractors, welcome to Modern Chiropractic Mastery with your host, Dr. Kevin Christie, where we discuss the latest in marketing, business, and professional growth with some of the leading experts in the industry. Hey, welcome to another episode of Modern Chiropractic Mastery. In this episode, I got an interview with one of our coaching clients, Dr. Jared Wadsworth, and we're going to dive into his progression over the last 5-7 years of creating consistent content around a golf niche, and then also getting out in the community around that niche and really being very consistent, and then what that has led to in a huge, exciting breakthrough in his career and opportunity that is really, transformational. And it really stems from being consistent. It doesn't mean you have to be an influencer on social media with creating content, doesn't mean you have to be an A-list actor. It just really means you have to keep on providing consistent education in the community, but also through your content. And he talks about his progression through video and all that, and just what this has done for his career, his practice, and ultimately professionally and for his family. And it's just a great story that hopefully you will resonate with on some of the things that that you probably should be doing, and for whatever reason you're not. And if you did, and you did it consistently, would reach the goals or the vision that you have. And Jared is someone that has done that and is reaching his goals, and we dive into that today. And it's exciting to see his progression because we've been working with him for quite some time, and it's bearing fruit for him and for his community and the people that he is connecting with and treating and getting to know and helping out, even just with his content. So without further ado, here is my interview with Dr. Jared Wadsworth. All right. Excited to have Jared Wadsworth on our podcast today. And we're going to dive into, really consistently hammering your niche and doing it in a way that's elegant and with a content marketing twist, whether it's in person or through video and online marketing, stuff like that. So before we dive into that, Jared, tell us a little bit about yourself, professionally, personally, whatever you want to give us on this 30,000 foot overview.
Right, Jared Wadsworth. I've been in my 9th year of practice after school, and wife, 5 kids from ages 2 to 12, turned 13. We live out here in the West in Utah, and we love it here. Opened up my own practice almost 3 years ago, so it's over 2.5 years ago, and it's been great.
Yeah. Where'd you go to chiropractic school?
University of Western States. Went there, master's in sports medicine as well, and just kind of dove into all of the sports stuff here. Moved, my family's here in Utah, my wife's down in Idaho, so we stayed out here. We would love to stay in Oregon, but family's closer to like family, so.
Yeah, you're in a good spot. And so when did you were one of my early coaching clients. What year was that we started working together?
So it was 2019. And that's when I was an independent contractor, another office. And I started out at school. I knew I kind of wanted to run my own thing, but wanted to work in the sports field. I was able to build my own client under a contractor situation, and called you. I heard about you from your podcast, contacted you beginning of 2019 because I needed some help knowing how to do all the marketing stuff that know how to grow. So I didn't know that. And
yeah, it's been fascinating over the years of we've had MCM now with the podcast and such for 8 years, and we were doing certain things here and there, and then we formally launched the coaching in 2019, early 2019, and I do think you were one of that early cohorts. But I had been mentoring chiropractors over the years a lot through preceptorships and internships all the way back from probably 2009, 10, and I've been practicing for 20 years now, and then kind of mentoring some chiropractors through that preceptorship, and then obviously into coaching for about 16, 17 years. And it's been interesting, whether it's my own career or seeing other chiropractors' career now that I'm getting a little bit more long in the tooth here and seeing some of the preceptors I had 13 years ago and where their careers have gone. And, so many of them, the ones that have done things consistently, it's been impressive to see what they've done and where they've gone. And then there's so many, unfortunately, that don't put in the work, and they expect a different outcome. And that's something that's always, it's just kind of like when we're treating patients, right? We're we're hoping and expecting them to do what they should be doing to get better and what you're guiding them to do. And the ones that do typically have really good outcomes. The ones that don't struggle, and you're just like, why can't you do this? And it's the same way with chiropractors and opening practices. And it's my kind of long-winded way of saying that one of the things that stood out for the 6 years that you and I've worked together is the fact that you've digested what we've talked about, and you've put it into to consistency, and doing it kind of day in and day out and week in and week out. And to see you go from, being an independent contractor in a unique situation, it was fine, to then moving out, opening your own practice, your own space, and having the exponential growth that you had. What was your growth that you had in 2024? I remember you gave me a percentage of growth. What was
Yeah, so
that?
it was about 40% growth in office visits, and then like 40% growth in revenue, which was great. I attribute that all to what the work we worked done together, and I knew it works. It started in 19. I mean, it still worked in 2020 when COVID happened and a lot of offices were suffering, but I grew a lot here. I actually grew a lot in that year myself. I had a lot to, it was at the very bottom, so I had a lot I could grow anywhere, but I grew a lot there. But then this has helped me open up my own office and staying consistent with all the marketing we've done. It just helped it grow that much last year. So
Yeah, and one of the things I remember, it was unique when we formally had started the coaching in 2019, and then we get punched in the face with COVID, and a lot of our coaching went from getting people to try to keep growing or grow to, oh, let's stabilize this ship so it doesn't go under. And one of the things I remember saying was like, let's throw out the trailing indicators. Like, let's not worry about how many new patients we get in the middle of COVID or offices. Like, let's just focus on the leading indicators. And that was one of the things, honestly, if people do that, even in normal times, that's the good thing to do. And that was what you do. You just kept on plugging away, and you were able to navigate that. And then once got on the other side of COVID, to be able to grow. And it's a good, there's a couple reasons I wanted to have you on the show today, and we'll get to the really cool one. But it's just also the idea of the tipping point. It's a great book by Malcolm Gladwell. I read it back in the mid aughts. I think it might have been 2006 or something like that. And it just talks about where you just plug away, you plug away, you plug away, and then you reach a tipping point, and then you have this substantial growth. And like you said, you graduated 9 years ago, I believe you said, and you just kept on plugging away, and it didn't happen overnight, and it was a slog sometimes, but you never, you were resilient. You were very resilient and keep on doing what you needed to do. And then you've reached a tipping point. Obviously, you're not necessarily totally where you want to be, but you're still young and you've only been doing it for 9 years. There's these like different levels of tipping points. And I even feel like I'm 45 now, and then again, 20 years in practice. In the practice I own right now, we're in our 16th year. We've kind of hit another tipping point. So you have these different tipping points throughout the career. So it doesn't mean once you had one, like you're kind of in now, that this is it. But you just kept on under the surface, creating content, getting out in the community, getting better clinically, just doing those things. And you've had the growth in your clinic. And we're going to segue into kind of a niche. And I want people that are listening to realize you can apply what we're going to talk about today to whatever niche you're in. But Jared got clear on one particular niche, and again, doesn't mean that all his patients are in this niche, but it just definitely hammered this one pretty hard and continue to. And which one is that, Jared?
So I chose niche in golf, and you're right. People ask like, why did I like be a chiropractor? And I mean, one reason is you can choose any community you want to.
Yep.
You can build a business around anything. So I chose golf early on. I knew I wanted to or focus myself into something to separate myself from other offices. But I got a master's in sports medicine at Western States. And so I wanted to do something in sports because that was just my life growing up. So I wanted to choose something that I like to do, first of all, and like a grow a business. My first thing was actually basketball because I love basketball. I play that all the time. I still play it. But then looking at like the culture of basketball players here, we play a lot. So like there's churches everywhere. We play in church more. Every church here,
Mhm.
you go early morning, there's probably a group playing basketball somewhere or in the church. But the culture here is you get hurt, you stop playing for a bit, you ice your ankle, you ice your and we golf, you play. Seeks treatment. Once they get older, they just stop playing and they pick a ball or something else.
Mhm.
But I chose golf. I looked at golf because of I knew about TPI. I knew that if you want to play golf for a long time, you probably played sport growing up and then changed to play something else. And so one sport that you could play for a long time. And that's one sport that I know people will pay to play more. If they're hurt, they want to play more if they're competitive, and then they'll put the money down to support the effort to get better. Whether it's pain, get hurt, they'll watch you take care of it. And the other thing was in my area, there was nobody like focused on that
Mhm.
niche itself. And that was the other aspect of it. So we kind of checked off all the boxes of one could supply business to a business to grow business. It's something that I liked to do. I wasn't growing up. Um, and I could see myself doing it more.
Mhm.
Could help grow. Nobody had touched the niche in my area.
Mhm.
Because it's Utah and you get a lot of snow in the winter. It's
Mhm.
cold, and I can see that. But I had a thought that, or some impression that um, Utah golf is actually really good, and there was something there that nobody
Yeah.
touched on. So
No,
I
beautiful.
jumped on it early in 2018.
Yeah, beautiful
Thanks.
place to golf for sure. I was just out there in Park City, not for golf. It's wintertime, but went skiing but yeah, plenty of golf there. Let's take a break from today's episode and announce our first sponsor. This is going to be Propel Marketing and Design. I've known Darcy Sullivan for years. We've worked hand in hand on my websites. I don't trust anybody else to do the search engine optimization. She does a great job. There's so much to it. A lot of the lingo and the words are beyond my comprehension, but it's just amazing work that she does. And if you're really going to get results with Google, you have to make sure your website is SEO optimized. And I really don't want you doing it yourself as a chiropractor. So you just have to have this type of stuff done. And if you're looking to get more organic online traffic that pulls in new patients, Propel Marketing and Design is currently offering chiropractors who listen to this podcast a free SEO website review. The free review will help you uncover methods that will improve your website and boost your search engine visibility. Head over to propelyourcompany.com/chiropractor and schedule your free SEO website review. You won't regret it. She gets great results. Your website needs this. Your search results need this. Head on over there to propelyourcompany.com/chiropractor to get your free SEO website review. So you, in 2018, kind of picked up the niche of golf. Similar with me, that was a big one. I'm fully TPI certified. For our audience, I actually had Greg Rose on late 2024, maybe it was October or so. Check out that episode. He had a lot of great wisdom on if you're going to try to tackle the golf niche, or again, you could apply what he talked about or what Jared's talking about to whatever niche you want. And that was very eye-opening for sure. And so you've just been really doing a lot of content and also doing a lot of community outreach stuff around the golf. Explain to me what you've been doing consistently in the community to try to position yourself as an expert with golf.
Yeah, so we do a lot of content. I'll choose with your program. We decide each month what the content's going to be. Not every month's about golf. I do a lot of other things, just help with growing business with all the other patients that we do see. But at least every other month, every 3 months or so, that's something around golf, whether it's golf injuries or how to prevent them or just little things. With when we're next, we'll be putting out as a pre-season warm up, which you guys can do the community outreach. I just kind of followed what Greg Rose would teach and what he did at TPI. So I went through all of TPI training, fully TPI training for medical and some fitness stuff.
Mhm.
But did what he did, and he just went out to talk to all the golf pros he could in the area. And
Yeah.
so I just tried to reach out to all the golf pros. There's a dozen public golf courses in my valley that I'm in.
Mhm.
There's a few private golf courses that I that are in my area. And so I first on went, took some of your advice and put together a little workshop and went to every golf course, tried to talk to all of them to put together a workshop for their end leagues or their members.
Mhm.
Workshop of just injury prevention and just what we could do. The content that I wanted to provide for them was something to help provide value to their members
Yeah.
or their golfers so they would walk away with something. It's kind of what Greg Rose would do. So always to provide value to them so they would see what I could bring to them, to keep them all. Um, so worked out, started with a lot of workshops and some courses did it, some didn't. And then it led into joining a men's league and sponsoring a men's league close to my office. And that got me to meet a lot of cool people and just getting my face out there to talk to people and then meeting up with the private club members and
Mhm.
the head pros. And then that got me into getting with the local Utah section, the PGA, do local tournaments. So there's the Utah Open, some other opens that I go work at where I'll sort of table up and I'll treat the golfers beforehand, or the local private clubs. They have their member guest tournaments. So I'll go do a pre-round stretch table or treat them beforehand, just get them prepped beforehand to help the members and their guests at their clubs.
Yeah, it's interesting. When we try to coach our clients and, we try to make them understand that um you got to get out in the community. But there's a lot of ways you can do it strategically that's credibility enhancing, not credibility detracting. I think a lot of young chiropractors or even chiropractors that were my age got a little jaded with the community outreach stuff because they thought about the spinal screenings and the all the different things out there that maybe wasn't what they imagined themselves doing to build a practice. And there is a whole lot of cool things you could do out in the community that is credibility enhancing. It's going to position you as an expert and you'll feel good about doing that. And that was what we try to guide chiropractors on. The second thing we try to guide chiropractors on is obviously content marketing. I would say content marketing is the strategic approach that we really try to teach chiropractors, and you can apply content marketing to the in person, like you're talking about, or you can obviously do it online, kind of a total web presence. And that's something that how did you've shot a lot of videos over the years now. You've kind of, gotten in your groove and been doing that for quite a long time since we started working together now. How did you originally feel about shooting videos and getting on video and getting content out there as consistently as you have online?
I was very scared. I was never good with cameras. I always thought I could never really talk very well. Like, telling stories was hard for me because I know my family, like my dad and my brothers, tell stories really well, but I was never at their level. And just growing up, I was always shy,
Hmm.
didn't talk a lot. So that was definitely opening up a whole realm of things that I was not comfortable with. But just early on taught me that let's just do it. Just do it, and then you just get better at it, comfortable. And once you get comfortable, then you get confident, and you just spirals upwards.
Mm-hmm.
You see better. So
Yeah, you kind of referenced the strategic coach 4 C's that we love to give them credit for, and it's amazing. And it's essentially whatever, like, there's certain things we know that if we did, we would get results, right? Like so many chiropractors out there, they have this vision of what they want their practice to be. And they know in their heart of hearts, if they actually did X, Y, and Z, they would probably achieve what they want. And they just can't get out of their own way. And One of the frameworks that I learned from Strategic Coach quite a long time ago was the 4 C's, which is, making a commitment. So that's your first one is committing to something, right? You committed to go to chiropractic school, and then you have the courage to stick with that commitment when it gets hard or uneasy, or you feel weird about it, or just not, you're out of your comfort zone, and you get that courage. So like you did, like people did, to stick through 3.5, 4 years of chiropractic school and actually go out and start practicing. And then you had a capability to become a chiropractor. So that's the third C, is you develop a capability. And when you do it long enough and consistently enough, you then have confidence in it. And it's just something that I always, when I know I need to do something and want to do something, and I know it's going to serve my vision, I really think through that 4 C's and realize, okay, what's the fear that I have around it, and try to work on that to, have the courage. We all have the fears. It's some people have the courage to kind of go head into the fear, and some people just retreat. And that's something people have to dive into sometimes. And frankly, we have those conversations with our clients. And sometimes some of our it doesn't work out with some of our clients because they just can't overcome. And I'm not talking about just video, but just some certain things. It's like, and we're not, and we don't put chiropractors in a box. We don't like have them do these crazy long care plans or anything that a lot of people are concerned about. It's all ethical based and evidence based chiropractic stuff. But you just really kept at it, and that's why I wanted to chat with you about it a little bit, because some people, I think, for them to get on video or to go out and do public speaking like you do and all that, they need to be this like A-list celebrity actor skill set with, dripping of charisma and communicating like Ronald Reagan, right? So it's like, it doesn't have to be that way. We're not trying to turn people into, world class, international speakers. And we're trying to become experts in our community. And anybody can do that, because that's a chiropractor, that because you have a wealth of knowledge, and people will get that, and they can relate to you when the video is relatable and you're providing with good information. And you've done that over years, and it's helped build your practice. Let's take a short break for one of our great sponsors, TrackStat. It is a new type of software plugin for your EHR that combines patient communication, marketing, automation, and statistics with patient and employee tracking. Built by chiropractors for chiropractors, it shows your team what to focus on each day. See patient visit habits, missing information, unpaid bills, insurance collection visit average, and more. Great visibility of data so you can focus on filling your office with your best patients. When you can see what your staff and patients are doing or not doing and take action accordingly, your profits naturally grow. Take TrackStat for a test drive in your office with our free trial. Not a techie? No problem. We can help. To get started on your free trial, visit trackstat.org and watch the demo. That is trackstat.org. Now, so you've been tackling the in person, you've been tackling the content marketing, you've been getting at it, and I want to kind of spotlight the cool opportunity that has come your way recently. And I'll have you obviously dive into a little bit, but you've been working with a professional golfer that a lot of people would know. We won't mention his name, but and you've been working with him because how did that happen originally? Was it because of the connections you were making in the community, because of the legwork you were doing around the community?
Um, Not exactly, no.
Hmm.
One, I was lucky, or one's the old verbiage of you put it out in the universe, and the universe will like, provide, I guess. So
Yeah.
something like that. It was actually my old office when I was an independent contractor about
Mm.
5 years ago, just over 5 years ago. The other guy I worked with was an old, big college. We worked at the college as a athletic or team chiropractor for the football team. And this golfer was actually referred to him first when he was in town. And so I was taking to everybody who was needed it at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So he referred to me. And so I saw him a couple times, and then just where it started. And then from there, I just kept in contact with him and didn't push anything. He maybe once a year when he's in town and support him with some of the stuff that he put out in the state in the area. And we'll just keep in touch here and there. And then,
Mm.
so that was 5 years ago. And then recently, just a few months ago, he reached out to me, see if I'd entertain working with him full time. I obviously couldn't say no, so I just jumped on it and um, see what I could provide and help him and just be available. And so then he's asked me to travel a few times. So I've traveled to a few PJ events and a few more planned this year, and just keep healthy and help me get better. So
Yeah, and it's a cool opportunity to, keep on working on your niche like you have, and then you get someone that recognizes your value and your expertise in working with golfers. And again, your marketing and stuff that you've been doing around golf wasn't without substance. You know how to work with golfers. You did the TPI stuff. You've been really honing your skill set on that, and so that when you did get the opportunity to work with someone of high level, you had the chops to do it, and obviously do well enough to where now he's having you travel with him and on a lot of the events. How many events are you going to do per year with him?
we're planning like 8 to 10.
Yeah, 8 to 10 events,
Not
and
bad.
got some cool ones. Going to be at the Masters this year. I'm jealous. And it's something we navigate was to be able to do this, because usually you leave Sunday or Monday and you're there all week and come back on Sunday. So there's definitely a travel component to that. And but you put yourself in a place clinically in your practice where you're able to bring on another doc here soon to cover a lot of those weeks that you're out. And that way the practice isn't completely shut down. But you're also getting compensated. That's, I think, something, I won't mention the exact number, but it's in the low six figures that get compensated from this golfer to be able to travel for 8 to 10 weeks. That's a game changer financially, which is cool to see that impact for you and your family, which is awesome. And that's going to be great. Let's take a short break from today's episode to tell you about the best decision I've made in my clinic in the last 10 years, and that has been adding shockwave therapy to our clinic. The outcomes have been really impressive. Certain conditions we were struggling with in the past, we're now seeing results with the shockwave therapy for that. And second of all, the ROI has been really good. When you make a big investment in something, you want to see a return, and we're seeing that return in clinical outcomes and in our investment, and that's been really nice to see. I chose Keenest Medical for 4 reasons. One is the technology is top notch. You have to have great technology. There's a lot out there that isn't quite up to snuff. The second thing is they have a really good clinical training. They have an exclusive partnership with Academy of Shockwave Excellence so that you can become clinically proficient in shockwave. You do need to get skilled at it. I think that's a big differentiator between practices that are getting great results and seeing the ROI is they have a great clinical aspect to that as well. So you want to get trained appropriately. Third is they have in-house service team for all of your technical support, which is key when you're investing in a machine like this. And then lastly, they have a very in-depth marketing and business support for you so that you can launch this into your practice effectively, that you can get that ROI on it, that you can get the clinical outcomes. And they also have really good financing options if you need that. So go to KeenestMedical.com, KINAS medical.com, mention MCM podcast and receive a free shockwave in practice book with a purchase of a unit. So that's KeenestMedical.com, KINAS medical.com, and mention MCM podcast. And now you're also kind of stepping into that new level of leadership to where you're going to bring on another doc to help out the clinic to cover that. And so it's exciting to see you be able to work with a high level golfer, travel to some really cool golf tournaments, and get paid very well. And I think when, as a chiropractor, you continue to position yourself really well, you can get some really good opportunities and command really good money. And I think we all deserve these opportunities to do that. And so, what are some of the things you're excited about this year with adding that and also kind of maintaining the clinic growth that you had from last year? That's going to be the threading the needle, right?
Yeah, so bringing an associate is this opportunity jumped earlier than I was planning
Mhm.
for a year plan. So I jumped it up early. So I'm excited to see how much that helps, and help this grow more. To have another person in here to help the growth that I had last year to just continue on, and also to see how much mm, me being out there and working with new golfers and it just opened up my world to a whole new aspect that I think was possible right on. So,
Yeah, you might find yourself, getting some referrals of some other golfers. That's, oftentimes how it happens, which is pretty cool. I traveled on 6 events, 5 or 6 events in 2011, and it's fun. It's a lot of work, and working on someone like that, it's, high stress. Make sure that they're doing well, but it's a cool opportunity. And one of the things, another thing I learned from strategic coach, I obviously give them a lot of credit for where I've gotten as an entrepreneur and helping chiropractors, but is the idea of strategic byproduct, right? So obviously, you know, you, if you're in a particular area and you work with golfers, you may not come across an opportunity to work with a pro golfer, but you never know. But the strategic byproduct concept is the fact that you never know what byproducts are going to come when you put in strategic work consistently. It's not a fluke. Like you've been strategically um, creating content, position yourself as a golfer, getting better at treating golfers, doing all the right things. And then there just happened to be a chance to work with a guy, but you happen to also be prepared, right? So that saying when opportunity meets preparedness, and that's where you were. And then this wasn't in your vision maybe 6 years ago, but it's a strategic byproduct of the vision that you did have that you were strategically taking consistent action on. And that's what I want chiropractors to get out of this episode is that you need to be taking strategic, consistent action. What you envision 5 or 10 years down the road is not going to come out exactly like that. A lot of times it comes out better because of these offshoot byproducts that happen. And the other thing is like a lot of people have excuses, but Jared mentioned earlier he's married and has 5 kids. I'm sure there's not all the extra time in the world, and I know for a fact you're a great family man. So it's not like you're swimming in extra time. And a lot of people will give me a lot of excuses about time, and I get it. We all have time crunches, but what you have done is strategically utilize your time and prioritize um, building your practice because now you are at a young age and really being able to provide for your family, which maybe you didn't fully envision 3 to 5 years ago, as far as now this opportunity. And I bring up that with the byproducts, and then also just the fact that you are a family man and all that. How do you manage the time? Get up early, stay up late. What are some of the things you do, or just schedule yourself
I do
well?
I do get up early. My wife thinks I probably work too much, but I get up early. I just kind of kept up the schedule where Tuesdays I don't see a lot of patients in the office. I just do some marketing. I'll do that at home.
Mhm,
At least computer work at home. It calls with you at home on Tuesday, or I'll just get up early or do something at work on Tuesday.
mhm.
But try to be home for some evenings with the kids and as much as I can. I try to coach one of them if they do sports. So I'm coaching my son's basketball team right now. Try to coach all my kids in some basketball, soccer, or something they want to do
Mhm.
to their room. And then family's a big part of me to growing up. It's big part of our religion we're part of. I
Mhm.
always take Sundays off where we go to church. We always say prayer at night together as a family. It's a big part. So
Yeah. Yeah, you put family first, and then you work hard. And I know, like, one of the things, and I work hard. I don't have 5 kids, I have 2 young kids, um, and I am blessed that my wife can stay home and manage, the house and our kids, and she does do some work for MCM as well. She does all our I gotta give her a shout out here, all our mastermind event planning she does, and all our, like, the locations, the hotels, the dinners, so, she enjoys doing that, but, Yeah, it's I want my kids seeing me work hard too, right? And that's something I've said quite a few times. Yeah, obviously there's a point of no return. You don't want to be a workaholic and have no time, but you've done it to where you've been able to be very present with family, but still work hard. And yeah, I mean, when you own your own business, there's going to probably be a little higher level of working than not. But it's been pretty cool to see you again thread that needle of working hard, doing things consistently, have these strategic byproducts, but also still maintain your family values.
Yeah, I'd say that I really wanted to become a chiropractor because it's more chiropractors run their own business, and I wanted to run my own schedule.
Yep.
So I do plan a lot. So I schedule things out. My wife and I always do planning every week. Every Sunday night, it's always planning for the week to see what she needs from me and what I can do to help and
Mhm.
what I have going on. So we plan around it, and I always wanted to run my own schedule. So that's why. So that's one reason why I chose this
Yeah.
field.
It is a nice thing. Even though we work hard, you do get to choose it. I have a buddy who his kids are in baseball now, and he goes in and gets the schedule from the kids' baseball. I think basketball too. And let's say he has hours until 6 p.m. on a Thursday. But let's say one of the kids has a game at 5 p.m. on a Thursday. He knows this in advance because he gets the schedule, and he goes in and he blocks off. He gets that particular Thursday he's done at 4:45, and that's the priority that he has. He might make up an hour somewhere else, or he may not, and he's got an associate doctor. He's built a practice that serves him and his family.
I do the same thing where if I know ahead of time, I'll block it off.
Yeah.
My wife wants to leave town, then we go to Idaho oftentimes in the
Mhm.
weekend. So a short weekend trip, we'll block off a Friday afternoon and
Mm.
I'll sleep early and
Yeah, you can do it.
yeah.
You can definitely do that. You can carve it out, get ahead of it. I think one of the best things a person can do is get at least 3 weeks ahead on your schedule and put on things in there that are the priorities, whether it's family stuff, sporting events, dinners, even gym time, things like that. Get that on the books, carve out things, and work around that, and work on your business. And I think that's something that you've done and it's starting to pay off. And I commend you for overcoming any fears you had with getting out in the community or shooting videos, or when you felt like it was getting challenging and overcoming that. I commend you on just continuing to put in the hard work, and it's been cool to see the results. So good stuff, man.
Thanks. Yeah, it was challenging. There's probably a few times where I thought I'm in Utah, I probably should stop the golf stuff and focus on skiing or something. Could more.
Yeah, no, it's worked out. And yeah, no matter where you're at in your career, there's challenges, and you just got to overcome it and realize we're all solving problems all day, every week, and you're doing it, man. Good stuff. Well,
Well, thank you.
yeah, and we'll
Thanks for all
obviously.
the stuff that you do as well as the coaching and your coaching is great. And
It's been fun, and it's been fun working with you. And I know we'll see each other every week here and get on calls and stuff as you navigate this exciting new adventure. And so I will expect my ticket from the Masters in the mail soon. No, I'm just kidding, Jack. And I'll look forward to maybe having you on again to let us know how this year went as you do this.
Will do. Thank you for having me.
I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. And if you want to make the shift from busy, broke, and broken to time-free and cash confident, or you just want to continue with the exponential growth, check us out at modernchiropracticmarketing.com. Look at the MCM Mastery tab, watch the short video on there, and check out what we are doing now for evidence-informed chiropractors. We are equal parts coaching and marketing done for you. Yes, you shoot some videos, we help you with campaign strategies and ideas and really become a thought leader in your community. You shoot those videos, you send them to us, we produce, edit, and brand them to you. Then we distribute them through all of your channels. We also take them and we turn it into one good blog per month. And every other month, we have Darcy Sullivan producing a robust blog with a topic that you pick from her database to help with your SEO. So we essentially become your content marketing agency to make sure your practice is always having ethical, elegant content marketing to help grow your practice. On the coaching side, we also help you with everything from marketing ideas to business, communications, finances, anything practice growth. and really try to help prevent you from being stuck on that island. And we hold you accountable. We have a great group of doctors that are just doing amazing things, and we look forward to help you out to take that next step in your practice. So again, check us out at modernchiropracticmarketing.com and learn more.